Hello everyone. This is going to be a quick tour. I'm going to try to keep this video under 10 minutes. Okay, the first page when you log on to any Blackboard course, whether it's for me or any other instructor that you have at CWI, it'll default to the announcements page. The announcements page is where I will make announcements about hey, make sure you look at your emails. I've been emailing you any kind of pertinent information, due dates. If this was a face-to-face class, maybe I couldn't make to class and classes were canceled, or just alerting you to any information. So make sure that you always take a look at this page. It's the first page that will pop up. By the way, I do have pertinent information out here. I've given you videos all the way throughout. A lot of people like videos, and some people I'd rather just read it instead of listening to someone talk for 5 or 10 minutes. It's completely up to you. Completely up to you. However you want to skin that cat. Faculty information is always up at the top here and located just above or just below announcements. This is information about me, where to find me. This information is also located in the course syllabus. Let's take a look at that. I did do a video about the course syllabus to walk you through that, but this is where you would find that. And right below that is the course schedule, and then the institutional course schedule. By the way, I am in instructor mode. Let me go ahead and put this in student mode so you can kind of see what that looks like. It is a little bit different. You don't see all those buttons, you just see a few of them. Let's go into the weekly learning modules. I have opened up all 16 weeks, so for those that want to work ahead, you can go for it. Remember, I never take late homework unless it's really extenuating circumstances. So plan accordingly, because life sometimes does happen. Maybe you want to take a quick getaway for the weekend, or you've got kid stuff or spouse stuff, or you just want some me time. Let's face it, college is a busy time of your life. So everything's open. Week 1, let's just go in there. You will always see a welcome from me each week. Hey, welcome to week 1. This is what to expect. You should watch those. Sometimes I've embedded information in there that's pertinent to the success of not just the course, but that week. You don't have to watch anything else if you don't want to, but those are important. In fact, what I say in these videos is normally what's here, but I also give you a little extra. This week, you've got a few little quizzes and things to do, so just be mindful of that. Let me take you into week 2. Week 2, there's a welcome video. I don't know why my face ends up so funny sometimes, but anyway, that's okay. So week 2, the videos for welcome weeks, by the way, are usually 2 minutes, no longer than that. And there's always a checklist of exactly what I said. And then you're going into your homework this week. So when you go in there, here's the pages that are for your book that you need to do. I will also give you like a checklist of things that are covered. I never use these, but some students have found these helpful. Let me just make this big for you so you can see what this looks like. This is just what you're learning in Chapter 1. Some students like to print these off in color and create a binder. That's fine. And then PowerPoint presentation, you don't have to do this if you don't want to, but if you're that student that needs a little extra help, that's fine. By the way, this is the only week for homework that I didn't give you a lecture video of actually how to complete this assignment. I want you to do Word Chapter 1 on your own. I do, however, give you supplemental videos. They're not required. But there's a bunch in here that kind of take you through everything that you're learning in this chapter. Let me take you into week 3. We'll come back to the research paper. Week 3 actually will have, of course, the welcome, then the checklist. Oh, by the way, you should be, when you're doing your homework, having your course schedule going along with it. That's always a really good idea because I've given you boxes. You can check it off as you go. So here's week 3. So we have 3 assignments that are coming up. Let's go back to week 3. You'll notice in week 3, so just like in week 2, you've got the textbook page numbers. Then you've got the little check sheet, what you're learning, and then the PowerPoint, which honestly, I don't think anyone's ever watched those, but you certainly could if you wanted to, and a video for free templates. And then you're going to notice, guess what? A lecture. Now, my lectures, they're going to be close to an hour. If you were in class, this is exactly what you would get. I actually have done the homework for you for all of the homework this semester, except for a couple of things. Chapter 1 I didn't do, and in week 14 I didn't do PowerPoint chapter 3, and that's because PowerPoint's the easiest of all of the Microsoft Office programs, and you've gotten them all the way through. I'm not going to hold your hand that week. Remember now, week 2 I didn't do chapter 1. But everything else, I've given you lectures all the way through. There won't be a lecture for Outlook, and that's because you're using Geometrics. That's a different movie, and that is found underneath of Microsoft Office exams materials, and we'll go through that in just a second. When it's time for you to access MyLab IT where you're doing your homework, you're just going to click on this button and it's going to take you there. It'll open up in a new browser. Don't forget that you need to sign up for it. So you're going to get this screen. Just walk through that. Now, here I have given you your access code. For those that want to purchase the book, you can for $35. It's actually loose leaf, so probably with 3-hole punch. I've never had a student purchase that, but you could. Next is Ask Dr. Barnes a Question tab. This is where you're going to post questions to me about the class. Do not email me a question about homework. Post it here. In fact, if you do that, I have occasionally at the very beginning, students do that. I'll just email you and just say, hey, you need to post this in Ask Dr. Barnes a Question tab. I want everyone to see it. Why? Because I don't want to have to answer 4 students the same question. Also, it's another form of learning. I may not be online on the weekend, and you can help each other out. That's good. Or it's also a red flag. Either I'm not doing a really good job explaining things, and so you're all asking the same question, or there's something wrong with the system, with MyLab IT, and we need to contact them. So then there's also going to be group discussions. The first one's in week 1. You're going to be doing a get to know you. There's a research paper. We'll go into that in just a second. Practical uses for Excel. There's another discussion board, PowerPoint presentation, and website. Let's go back to the research just for a second. Here's the instructions. I did not do a movie because the instructions are really pretty cut and dry. So you do need to do an outline. There's instructions, and then you've got research topics that you can pick from. And also I've given you information about APA formatting, which is what we'll be using. So please read through this. You do have due dates. Again, another good source to use is your course schedule to see what's coming down the line. The first thing you're going to be doing is picking a topic. Then you're going to be completing an outline. Then you're going to be writing your paper and doing a rough draft. Then you're going to be proofing each other's information, and then you're going to be submitting your final research paper. But where is all that stuff found at Dr. Barnes? Well, it's all found within these weekly learning modules. So, for instance, maybe it's not week 2, it's probably week 3. Sorry about that. Week 3, you're going to be doing your research, or actually it is. So your research paper outline is due in week 3, and that's due here. And your topic is due actually in week 2. So that is due here with the due date. All right, so make sure that you read those instructions. Let me go down now to Microsoft Office exam information. So what's going to be in the final? You actually have 2 finals in this class. Actually, technically 4, but 2 are the Microsoft Office Specialist for Word and for Excel. Here's how you get registered for that. You're going to get registered through Certiport. Let me make this big. Certiport. And I would highly suggest that when you register for Certiport, that whatever logon ID or name and password you use for your Blackboard account, you use the same thing for Certiport. You're also going to be getting registered for the practice exam, which is called Geometrics, and I'll show you that in a moment. Use your same login ID and password for Certiport and Geometrics. You don't and for that you use for Blackboard. You don't want to have different passwords for 3 different items, programs. Make it easy. You're gonna forget. I actually write mine down, but I always try to use the same thing so that it's not hard. So you'll get registered for Certiport first. By the way, Certiport is a third-party platform that owns the rights to the Microsoft Office test. Then you're going to go over the testing center, but before you go to the testing center, you're going to have to sign up for your final. And so we've given you 3 free attempts. After your 3rd attempt is exhausted, it's going to cost you a little bit of money, $15.50. For those that aren't registered for this course, I've put a little blurb in there because we kind of double dip on people from outside of our course. But so just kind of ignore this. And that's really it in a nutshell. Very easy. We'll discuss this a little bit more as we go throughout the semester. I've given you more information about what to expect, what's on those exams. So here's what will be on the Word exam, the Excel exam. For those that want to take PowerPoint, you could. You will have to pay for it if you've exhausted all 3 for using Word and Excel. But this is what's on the Excel exam. Practice exams. These are interactive tools. Now, I've given you a video of how to get signed up, but there's also written instructions. Geometrics is basically a interactive tool that looks and mirrors your Microsoft Office exam that you're going to be taking later on for Word and Excel. And this is just something you're just going to download to your computer, and you're able to just set and practice. Don't just complete one and think I'm ready. Do all of them. So I think for Excel, I've given you probably 12, so 6 trainings and 6 actual exams. And the same thing with Word. You will need this passcode once you've downloaded Geometrics to your computer. Watch this video of how to do it, or read the instructions, or hey, do both. Again, I would use all of those practice exams before you go and take your test. Here's the Certiport instructions. Also, if you didn't want to read those instructions up above here, of course I made a movie. I like movies. They're just easier to watch for me. I try to catch all my learners that way. Course resources, I wanted for those because we're going to be writing that research paper. I've given you information about CWI's Writing Center and our tutoring labs. Blackboard student tutorials for those that have never taken a course online before. I actually have some videos. These are all 2 to 3 minutes talking about discussion boards and how do you submit assignments online in your Blackboard. How do you use the group or blogging, looking at your grades. These are really helpful. Again, these are all 2 to 3 minute how to quick down and dirty videos. Tools. Let me just go in here. I learned this last semester, and this is such a cool tool, haha, to use. If you wanted to send an email message to everyone in class, you are able to talk with everyone through here. This is pretty neat stuff. Discussion board takes you there. So we don't always necessarily use these, but you could, and some classes do. So I leave this here for you to kind of get familiar with. This is where you're going to be checking on your grades. I will be updating this periodically. Right now it's just showing the discussion board information and your website project, your PowerPoint presentation, things that I've got embedded now for you to upload. When you get ready to do your My IT Lab homework, that will actually pair into here. In fact, let's go into that. I want to show you where that information is located. So My IT Lab, there is a video on how to get registered along with, of course, the written instructions for those that don't want to watch my videos. So here's the videos. And I'm just going to keep going through these. Here's the greater projects. It talks about how to get through those. Don't forget your greater projects. I've given you unlimited attempts. I've said that in a previous video. Take advantage of that. Everyone should have an A going into the final with your homework, and then a greater video, another one. Alrighty. I think that's really about it. I wanted to keep this short and sweet. You know what to do if you've got questions. I say it all the time. Use the Ask Dr. Barnes a question tab here, and then get started on asking me a question.